This is our first time we've ever had Dirty Honey, someone from Dirty Honey, on the show outside of a festival setting. So it's not as loud as every other time we've welcomed Mark LaBelle to Loudwire Nights. But thank you once again for your time, Mark. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, you can hear me for once without the festival music blaring in the background.
I miss the boom, boom, boom. So where are you right now? What is your current quarantine situation?
I'm in Venice, California. I'm actually getting ready to take a little bicycle ride outside before heading into the studio for the rest of the day. So
nice.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst quarantine situation, but we were supposed to be in Australia right now recording a new record, and we had some gigs lined up in Japan and in Australia as well that have since been canceled or postponed. So we're just trying to make our way through these waters like everybody else. So.
Not to out you here, but are you supposed to be going into the studio at this point? Are you supposed to be like California severe lockdown, like don't leave your house unless you need groceries or something?
And trust me, like there's so many people still just like getting exercise and out on the beach. It's definitely limited, but it's almost like a Sunday morning every day, right? Like people are doing their jogs or whatever, and there's way less traffic, but I think for the most part, people are adhering to the new like guidelines, but there's definitely a lot of people still like riding bikes and going about their normal life.
Oh no, that's part of the problem. That's a problem. Okay.
I know.
So you mentioned that you're working on new music. I want to kind of know if coronavirus is making its way into the songs at all. But before we do, the debut.
No.
Yeah, no. Okay, there you go. No, just nip that in the bud. You guys' debut EP.
We'll nip that in the bud right away.
Okay. The band's debut EP turned 1. What is your favorite memory of making that EP? And did you think it would have the success? Like when you look back on it?
Yeah, my favorite experience from just the recording of it, I think, I don't know, man, it was such a like whirlwind sort of thing. Even though we had some time there, we went to Australia for just under 2 weeks. But, just going there and that whole experience was crazy because I'd never been to Australia before. I love traveling, and that was certainly on my list of places to go. And then to go there and have it exceed all of your, expectations from what you look up online. I mean, we're in Byron Bay. It's so gorgeous there. And quite honestly, I tried to do everything I could to convince the guys to go this time too, because we were supposed to leave about 48 hours after Australia closed the borders. So we could have very easily like bumped our trip up and just gone and got there before the shit hit the fan, and we didn't. But now we're stuck here in our little garage studio in LA. So,
wow.
But yeah, the whole thing was so awesome. I mean, in terms of the like success that it's had, I don't think anybody could have anticipated that. Honestly, we're certainly grateful for it, but yeah, it's exceeded all our expectations for sure.
So the EP was recorded in Australia. You wanted to go back to work on the album in Australia. What is it about it? I mean, it is beautiful, but creatively, what is it that inspires you?
Yeah, I mean, creatively, you're just away from any distractions like that you could possibly have at home, and you get into more of a routine where, like, going to the studio turns into like your exercise, for instance, or it turns into your full-time job. You're there from 9 to 5 every day and just working on songs, and then you go out and you get a bite to eat and you do it all over again. So you're in your own little creative bubble, and that's the only thing that matters for the time that you're there, and it just really helps to facilitate the best version of yourself, But yeah, now that we're in this sort of quarantine bubble, we're kind of getting into that groove in LA where it's like, all right, we have nothing else to do. Might as well go work on some stuff,
Yeah.
There's anything that could have possibly distracted you've done 10 times already. So you might as well get down to business and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
That sounds about right. You've killed everything on your Netflix queue. Like, you've eaten all the takeout you could possibly eat. You're not meeting anyone
Tiger
new.
King is done. Narcos Mexico is done.
Did you
The Sopranos I've watched it all over again. It's done.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's nothing left to watch.
How is that? What is it like? How is that movie? Everybody's talking about it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my God. So there's these basically these people that run tiger facilities all over the country, and each person hates the other one, so there's one in Florida, there's one in Oklahoma, I think there's one in Ohio or something, and each person that runs these facilities are just complete characters, and I don't know. I'm like 3 episodes in. It's crazy.
Okay, I want to watch
You
it.
just got to start. 15 minutes in, you'll be so hooked.
That and every other Netflix show. All right. So your people were telling me that the quarantine affected the shooting of the Heartbreakers video. So what's the story there? What happened?
Yeah, so we were supposed to do a music video for Heartbreaker. One of the Mondays that has passed. The days the dates are meaningless now. But yeah, we were supposed to do this video at this great location in LA, and the same team we used for the Rolling Sevens video, and it was Sunday night. We were ready to go, sent out the call sheet, and then Mayor Garcetti put a moratorium on no businesses could basically be open that were non-essential, and that included the event space we were going to be shooting in. So we had to pull the plug on the video 12 hours before we were supposed to start, and so we decided to try and think outside the box and do something else. And so this isn't, we're not releasing this isn't our official video, but we decided to just go up and make some content in the mountains and, at least put something out in the meantime and be productive.
Right. You can see that video, loudwire.com. They actually debuted it. It did bring about some good, right? It inspired the new series, the Suitcase Sessions. What's your vision behind that? Yeah,
so I've been trying to do something like that for a while. Kind of perfected this little recording rig. It's just like a laptop and an inbox and a couple of good mics and stuff, and it really gives me the opportunity to record a full band anywhere, whether it's an Airbnb or on top of a mountain. The range is pretty wide. So I had this idea of going out to the mountains and trying to capture some good audio of a performance in the mountains, and now that we had some time, that seemed like a good thing to do. And I'd love to collaborate with other artists and do it with them and sort of start our own little Suitcase Sessions series or something. As festival season starts coming along, and you're going to be in the same sphere as other bands that you admire and look up to, hopefully we'll be able to wrangle some people and do some fun stuff in the future. So hopefully it doesn't die after just one take. Kind
of reminds me of NPR's Tiny Desk Concerts. I mean, it's somewhat.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just saw the Black Crowes Tiny Desk concert. It was pretty good.
Yeah, those are good. I like those a lot.
I was going down that rabbit hole the other day. So
YouTube and its endless wonders. Maybe festival season is coming. We don't know yet. So far, it's been affected already. So fingers crossed that
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there will be some sort of festival season. Is it true that Heartbreaker was inspired by Jenna Jameson's ass cheek tattoo?
No, I've never heard that one.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not familiar with that, actually.
Do you even know who Jenna Jameson is?
Heart? I know who Jenna Jameson is.
Okay.
I don't know the tattoo.
Yeah, she has 2 heart tattoos, like 2 little hearts, and it reads Heartbreaker on her ass cheek. So I was wondering, I'm like, that's pre-Mark. I don't know if he's old enough to know who Jenna Jameson is, but I thought I'd throw it out there anyway. All right.
That's a pretty unavoidable porn star. There back in the day, a couple years ago, there was a porn star karaoke up in the valley here in LA, and all the porn stars would get together and have a karaoke night at this bar. I forget where it was. I don't think they do it anymore, but
oh wow,
I went once and it was a scene.
I can imagine. That would be a fun experience. But going back to Heartbreaker, I know you don't like to get into lyrics and what things mean. What would you like to share about the song that we don't know?
Well, so the song was basically a riff that Justin, the bass player, had written, and we kicked it around for a long time. I mean, there were a couple different versions of the song, and we never found the right recipe. And then it was pretty much right before we left for Australia the first time to go record. I told Justin, I just went over to his house with an acoustic, and he's got one obviously too. And I just said, this Heartbreaker riff, it wasn't even called Heartbreaker then, but this riff is just too good not to develop. Let's give it one last, try and see if we can't find something. And we changed the verse up, and then we changed the chorus too. The only thing that stood from the original memo was the riff. But from the first day I heard the riff, I was like, that's a great riff. I'd love to make that into something. And it took quite a while to come up with the sort of like that thing you do recipe for it. And we were playing it way slower. And then we brought it to the band, the new arrangement, and Corey played it like 15 BPM faster. And we were like, that sounds pretty good. And then our manager heard it and freaked out. And he was like, that's a smash, whatever he says. And we were like, all right, that's a winner then. But yeah, I loved it. Once I came up with the chorus melody too, I was like, I still have the voice memo on my phone from when I wrote it. It was like 2 a.m. and I was sort of singing falsetto, the chorus of Heartbreaker. And I was like, I think that's pretty good, you know? And it's still on that memo. So I filed that one away for the archives.
Yeah, that's one for like the documentary 20 years down the road. And yeah, when we were starting out, you know, and you whip that out. That's pretty cool. I saw that unfortunately all of the band's headlining gigs for April and May had to be canceled. How big of a financial hit is that for the band? I mean, obviously no fault of your own. Needless to say, coronavirus strikes again.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, we're one of those few industries where, if you don't work, you don't really make any money. I mean, we sell merch online and stuff. And I saw somebody post something. One of our fans posted something. It was like, you know, bands are having a tough time. Go buy some merch from their website. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And I was like, yeah, that's great. But at the same time, you know, I don't expect people to go buy a bunch of T-shirts if they're out of work also, you know. So we're in this weird economy that, you know, has been affected by the virus that really literally affects everybody. I think the only winner here is like Amazon, you know. Everybody's buying stuff off Amazon right now.
Maybe. I don't know about...
It really sucks. And what's that?
No, I was going to say, I don't know about Amazon workers, though. There's a number of them who have contracted the coronavirus. Yeah, I heard in the New York facility they had a little outbreak. But, yeah, I feel for all the bands, you know. Obviously, there's a lot of bands that do really well. But, you know, if you're sort of just starting out like us, you're certainly not making any money when you need to keep the train going and keep spreading the word. You know, that's the biggest thing is we've built up a lot of momentum. And, you know, we were ready to go record and go tour pretty much. We were booked through October of this year already, so it's kind of a bummer. So what's the plan? What happens? Let's say this thing goes, hopefully not, but let's say it goes 3, 4, 5 months. What is the plan?
Well, there's some stuff that's on the books that I can't talk about yet, but yeah, I mean, we were supposed to go to Europe for the first time. Hopefully that still happens in June. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We're kind of playing a waiting game with that one. And then we come back and we do a little run through North America in July. And then we have some big news coming up for August and September. And I have my fingers crossed. And I'm praying every night that stays the way that it is right now, because that would be a total blow.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. I'm sure there isn't a date, but is there like a season you expect to have the album out, fall, winter?
I don't even know if we've put that much thought into it yet, honestly. Like we have to do the album first, you know, and then figure out some sort of marketing plan. But
not there yet.
We're definitely, I mean, we're still in like the pre-production stage, which would have gone a lot faster, obviously, if we were in Australia, because I do think the plan is to still go there at some point and record it. And, you know, if we can't go there because the borders are closed, then maybe we fly our producer out to the States and do it here somewhere. But, you know, it's there's more challenges than ever to get stuff done right now. So
on a positive note, we'll wrap on a somewhat positive note, although you're already acting like you're free. So I don't even know if this question is going to apply, but what's the first thing you're going to do when you're free and you can go wherever you want, eat whatever you want, everything's open? What's number one on your to-do list? I guess Australia.
Yeah, probably Australia. Well, you know what? If all goes well, hopefully we will be like booking flights to Europe and go start touring there for the first time, because that is very high on my list. And the first place I really want to go to is Italy and Spain, honestly, because I know that they both had such a tough time with this. And I've sent so many T-shirts to both those countries over the last year that, you know, I know they're really yearning for us to get over there. And I am too. I love both those countries so much. I go to Italy like twice a year anyway, just to like reset and go ride motorcycles and stuff. So
wow.
To go there and play and, you know, hopefully get to take a bike out in the mountains up there would be a dream come true. And, you know, I want to be one of the first bands to go there and sort of set the tone that, like, you know, entertainers should be going here and, you know, it's safe. Hopefully it'll be safe by then and, you know, we can do our share in helping them out too.
I didn't know you were so kind of attached to Italy and that you went there a couple
Yeah.
times a year.
I lived there for a short part of my life, but I lived in Florence for a minute, and I just adore that country. I love the food. I love the people. The sights are awesome. It's kind of like America in that it has a lot of different terrain, and like the geography is like pretty varying from, mountains and valleys and beaches. It's like just such an awesome country. So I feel for them, and I hope that they get out of it sooner than later, because I don't want anything bad to happen to my not only my heritage, but one of my favorite countries on the planet.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Well, we're coming up here on our time. Thank you so much, Mark. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
All right, you too. Take care.